So hi and welcome to this video. As you can see, this is the login.php page, and I've just created it and there's nothing on it, it's just empty. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to go into the header file, and then I'm going to tell the login button to go to login.php. And obviously we'll be doing user login in this video. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new database or a database table, and before we do that, we need to plan out our fields. So obviously we're going to have an ID, we're going to have first name, last name, username, email, password, date of birth. No, we can leave that out actually. We'll leave it in for date of birth, and then we need to check if their account's been locked or not. So we just said locked, and we could say we'll just leave it like that. So there's 8 fields we need. So we have 8 fields. So let's go into the database. Let's create a table called users, and then give it 8 columns. But I have to just zoom out a bit so that we can see everything. So if we click go. Okay, so as you can see, I've just zoomed out so we can see, but I've just added the names of the fields in to save time. Now we're going to set the types, so obviously varchar for the names, for the username, varchar for the email, password as well, varchar, date of birth, can be a varchar as well. Varchar, and then locked can be that can be a varchar. So they're all varchars. So the first name length could be 30 characters, last name could be 30 characters, username could be 30, email could be the full length of the varchar, password is 32 because we'll be encrypting it with MD5, and we'll also be doing some other security things, but it has to be 32 characters long. Date of birth can be 8 long, and then locked can be 3 because it's either yes or no. So if we go over to, on the ID field, we keep going. It says index, we click primary, and then auto increment. So now we're just going to scroll down and find the save button. Okay, so as you can see, we have a users table now. So if we click on the users table, and then we insert a user, I'm just going to do me. So I'll just do Francis at I don't know, Gmail. Doesn't matter, that's just a made up email, by the way. Password is not going to be encrypted for the moment. We'll just put in anything, so I'll just set password. Date of birth is just going to be anything for the moment, and locked will be no. So we hit go on that. We have our query, we have one user in our database now. So now we're going to try and log in as that user. So if we go into contacts, we can delete all that now. And then we can just start the new page. So what we're going to say first is include includes slash header.php. So we go here and we click on, or we have to refresh actually, and now we can click on the login button, and we take us to the login page, and we have our header. So what we're going to do now is we are going to first go into the header file, and the very top we're just going to say above the functions include session underscore start, because we'll be using sessions to log in the user. So now I'm going to get a h2 tag, and we'll probably make it look better in the next video, but for this video we work on functionality. So I'll just say log in to your account, and then below here we'll have a form. The method is actually I'll do the action first. So it's going to be a self-submitting form, so it's going to submit to login.php, and the method is going to be post. The method is actually going to be get. Then we use two fields, so we'll say input type equals text, name equals username, value equals username, and then we could say on click value equals nothing, and then on blur, which means when they click away from the text box, we'll say value equals no, wait, actually we don't want that, because otherwise when they click away, no matter what they've typed, the value will be reset, and that's just pointless. So we're just going to put a paragraph tag in there, and then we're going to go down and copy this, change this to password, change the name of it to password, value can just be password as well. So now if we refresh, you'll see we have a h2 tag and then two fields. So what we're going to do now is we also need to include a login button. So and as I said, we'll work on making it look better in the next video probably. So we'll say input type submit, name equals submit, and the value is going to be log into my account. So now if we refresh, we have our simple login form. It's not very nice looking, but as I said, we'll fix that in the next video. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here, and we're going to say if is set post, or it's actually a get let's just say username, because that's the username field. No, actually we'll say submit because that's the button. So if the button's pressed, then we'll just echo form submitted. So let's refresh now, click on log into my account, it says form submitted, so that's good, that means it's working. Okay, and we'll actually change this to post, and then hit log into my account. Okay, something's not right. Alright, change that to method post, and then let's try. So it says form submitted, so that's good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say check username equals a MySQL query, and this query says select all from, or no, we'll just say select username from users where username equals where username equals, okay, that's not right. Okay, so we're gonna just say username for now, and we'll just say all, actually keep it simple. And up here what we'll say is username equals post username. So we'll just comment this line out, and then we'll just say echo username. So we're just going to hit log into my account, and then we're echoed with whatever values in the username box. So if I was to type Francis and then hit enter to post the form, we get echoed with Francis, so that means it's working. So we can comment that or uncomment that line. So we know this query will work, and then we want to say is num rows equals mysql underscore num rows okay, it's actually not square, it's 2 curly brackets, mysql num rows username. So then down here what we can say is if num rows is equal to, okay, so we're just going to say if num rows let me see, doesn't equal 1, then we're just going to say echo that user doesn't whoops, I'm just going to put in the backslash because it's like an escape character, so this won't actually show up. It'll just allow me to put the single quote in there, so it gets ignored because it's just part of our sentence. So I'm just going to say that user doesn't exist. So now let's refresh and let's type in a user who does exist. So Francis, hit enter. Okay, so mysql num rows expects 1 parameter. Okay, so the reason we did that wrong is because it's actually mysql num rows check underscore username, because that's the queries, that's the variable that holds our query. Username was just the variable from whatever was submitted from the field username. So we're just going to type in a user that does exist again. Okay, we're getting a mistake still. Okay, so the reason this is failing is because we didn't we haven't created a MySQL connect script. So that's what we'll do now. We'll just create a new file really quick. We haven't actually connected to our database, so it doesn't actually know what to look for. So we'll just say connect underscore to mysql.php, and then we're just going to say mysql underscore connect, and then we're just going to give it 3 parameters. First one is the host, which in my case is localhost. Second one is the username of that you're trying to log in with. So in my case it's root, because that's just the default one on localhost. And the password, I don't have one set, so that we just leave that blank. And then we're going to say mysql select db, and then the DB we're looking for is called video box. So that's my database name. So this should work now if we include this. So if we say includes / connect to mysql.php. So now if we try this again, if we hit log into my account, since username, since that is not actually a user, we get the user doesn't exist. But if I type in Francis, it matches one of the rows in the database here, so we get nothing echoed out to us. So that means that's working. So then what we're going to say is else, and then in here we're going to check the password. So we're going to just copy all this and paste it in here, and we're going to copy that and then change this to password and password as well. Then in here we're just going to say check password. Select all from users where password equals password. And since we've got no encryption on the password for the moment with the login, we'll just not include anything. but when we finish the registration form, we will have encryption, so then we'll have to update our login form too. So I'm just going to copy that, change this to num_rows so that the variable name's different, and what we'll say is if num_rows equals or doesn't equal 1, then we're also going to echo that user doesn't, and obviously put the escape character before that, which is just a backslash. So we're going to say that user doesn't exist. Okay, so then we're also going to say else, which means that the user does exist. We're just going to echo great. So if the username and the password are the same as the one in the database, we're going to say great. So let's try that now. Okay. Okay, so I just thought of a better idea. So what we're going to do now is, instead of checking that, because we don't need to check if the user already exists, we're going to compare it with the password the user entered, which is actually what we've already done. So what we're doing is we're selecting the user whose password matches password, which is the variable we put into which is okay, I'll just refresh. Password is whatever is in this box is assigned to the variable password. We're actually also going to say and username equals username, so that we're only selecting one user. So what this means is we're going to get the password, or we'll change that from all to just password, and we'll change this to username, so we're not wasting bandwidth, stuff like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say if password okay, actually we need to finish the query. So now we've done the actual query part of it, we need to we're going to say a row equals Mysql fetch associate our assoc for associative, and we're just going to say check password oops, actually we forgot the while loop. So while row equals our Mysql fetch associative array, and then check password, we're just going to say row equals, or no, password underscore db equals row. So what this is doing is it's just checking, this is just actually getting the password from the database. So in here, what this is basically doing is just getting password from the word. It's just getting the user's password from the row password. So whatever is in the row password for the specific user is returned and stored in password DB. And then under here, we're just going to say if password underscore DB equals password. So if the two passwords match, then we echo you can log the user in. So then now what we're going to do is we're just going to refresh again, and we're going to say Francis, and we hit enter, nothing happens. We type in Francis, and then we type in password, and it says you can log the user in. If we type in Francis and then we type in a password that doesn't exist, we actually need to say that now. So we can say else echo incorrect password. So now if we actually not refresh, just go back up here and type in Francis and then a random password. Okay, let's try that again actually. Okay, so what we'll say is just create another if statement. So else if password doesn't, we'll just get rid of the else. We'll just say if db password doesn't equal password, we'll just echo incorrect password. So Francis. Okay, why is that not? Okay, so for some reason that's not working, but we'll tidy that up later. So we'll just leave that as it is. So as you can see, it says you can now log the user in. So instead of echoing that, we're just going to actually say header location index.php, or I will actually say members.php for now. And then we'll create a new page called members.php. Here we will just obviously include the header file, so it includes /header php. So now if we refresh, we type in Francis, we type in password, it takes us to members.php. But we haven't actually set the session yet, so it won't remember. So we're going to do that now. So what we're going to say is in the header file, we'll just say user equals $_session and we're just going to type in user. We're actually going to cut that from that and put it in the login file, so we're just going to put it in there. And then on the members file, we're just going to say echo session user, or username actually. It's username. Okay, so let's try that. So now it should echo us our username. So Francis password. Okay, so username hasn't been declared. So what we'll do is we will copy this and put it on the header. So let's refresh. So we're going to change this. Instead of saying user equals session username, we're actually just going to say it's the other way around. So we're just going to say session username equals username, and then we're going to just echo session username. So that's how we set a session. So now if we type in Francis and we type in password, it says save password, so we'll just click yes, and there we have Francis echoed out. So now we want to be able to log out. So we're going to create a file called logout.php, and all we're going to do is say session start session underscore destroy. So let's do that now. So if we go to logout.php, we don't get echoed anything because we never told it to. But now if we go back to members.php, it says undefined index username, which means the variable has not been declared. So if we type in Francis and then password, it works again. So thanks for watching this video. We're going to be cleaning up the login script a lot in the next one. This is just to get the basic functionality. We have to do a lot of security things to improve that, but that's the basically use your login. In the next video we'll just be finishing it off and tidying it up and making it look better. Probably, and in the next video after that we'll probably be doing the user registration. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.